Hey, Tim. This is Danny Smith. Just calling to tell you how much I appreciate listening to your show, Truckers' Voices. It's very informative. I really like hearing the drivers' stories, how they got into the trucking industry, and maybe what kind of trucks they started out with. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I would encourage any drivers out there to tune in and listen, call in, be a part of it. It's a great show.
Hey, this is Chuck Lopesiger, and I listen to Truckers' Voices every Thursday evening from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook or YouTube with host Tim Taylor and co-host Steve Brand, because it keeps me informed about the industry and the drivers that keep our country moving forward. Don't forget, Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brad. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? My name's Charlie Demchuk, and I'm here to welcome you to tonight's big show. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see you.
Hi, this is Tony Wainwright. I hope you enjoy listening to Truckers' Voices as much as I do. Now, without any further ado, kick back, kick your shoes off, air your corns out, and get ready to listen to another fine show.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope that you had a good day of trucking out there today. We are back. We are back. We are back. Hey, it's been a pretty rough couple of weeks down here in South Georgia. You know, we got hit dead in the mouth from Hurricane Helene. I can't even say her right, but she hit us so hard. I can't even pronounce her right. But man, I tell you what, she come through here and she did some kind of damage. We got the front right quadrant of the hurricane, which that's the worst side of the hurricane that you can get. And if you could just see some of the destruction that's on the ground down here, you would probably be amazed if you've never been in a disaster area before. But we are resilient. We are getting back on our feet. I went 5 days without electricity. I was definitely without internet there for a couple of weeks. So I just told Steve, let's not do a show until I get the internet back. But I'm back up now. And so we're going to try to keep on and get Truckers' Voices back on track there. We got a good guest coming up tonight, Mr. Tim Blair. He is a great guy. He's from Knoxville, Tennessee. He's on the Tennessee road team. He works for a major LTL company. He does line haul, but we're going to find out a little bit about him and when we bring him on here. But anyway, I hope you had a good day today. I do want to remind everybody that on the Safety Drive for Cure page, if you're viewing me on there now, you can scroll down just a little bit and open registration is there. Herschel would love it if you would go ahead and get registered for 2025 Safety Drive for Cure. It helps him out to know how many people's coming. I think I got a good inkling that he's going to have to cap it this year at 250 is what I've heard. So you might want to go ahead and get registered. Now, you can go ahead and register without paying if you want to. If you want to pay, that's even better. But if you don't want to pay right away and you want to pay when you get there, just in the promo box, put down there, write the letters out, check, CHECK, and that'll get you right on by. And that way you can get your name on the roster that you're coming and that you're going to be a part of it there. So we're looking forward to that. You know, this seems like it just rolls around. And we also got a fall raffle going on right now. Scott Post has a 5x8 trailer. I'm selling tickets for them and helping Scott out. We're going to give that away on January 1st. So y'all remember that. You can either hit me up or hit Scott Post up, and tickets are $10 each. You buy two and you get the third one free. That's a pretty good deal. You don't normally get anything free this day and time in this economy, but you get a free ticket off of two $10 tickets. So $20 gets you name in there 3 times. So anyway, y'all just remember that. We're going to give a 5x8 utility trailer away January 1st, 2025. Okay. All right. So I think my co-host, he's out traveling tonight. I wish him well traveling out there on the highway somewhere, but he may be calling in here in just a little bit. But without further ado, let's bring our guest on in here, and let's don't belabor this. I'm going to bring Tim Blair in here, but I'm going to bring him in the right way on the intro music there. Okay. So we're going to bring a champion in here, a champion of the trucking industry. Come on in here, Tim Blair. How you doing,
Tim?
All right, Tim, we always like to bring everybody in on the Rocky music there because every one of our truck driver friends out here are champions in their own right.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me on, Tim. We've been trying to get together for a while, and I'm glad this finally worked out. I always enjoy being around you and, of course, your co-host Steve as well.
Absolutely, Tim. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about yourself personally, and don't tell me about your trucking career yet. Just tell me about who you are, where you live at, and such stuff like that. You know.
Well, I'm Tim Blair. I live in Alcoa, Tennessee, a little small town south of Knoxville, about 15 miles south of Knoxville. I have a wonderful wife, Tara Jo, and we have a 10-year-old son, just full of energy and very active. So we enjoy sports. Of course, we're right in the height of sports season, football season, but we enjoy hanging out together, just being a family. I enjoy golf, the opportunity to play. Of course, UT football, big fan of football, and so we're right in the mix of that. I do enjoy just travel sometimes, just some small trips. 10-year-old, like seeing different parts and
Tim, if you can hear me, I'm having a little bit of problem. You're frozen up over there. We wasn't having this problem before the show, but now
okay.
I see you now. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
You have me now, Tim? Okay, I've got you, Tim. Do you have me?
Yeah, I got you. All right, just go ahead and continue.
Okay, you got me now?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get all of that I was talking about?
No, I got some of it, but it was breaking up. So just go ahead and do it again.
Okay, yes, sir, absolutely. Well, I'm Tim Blair. I'm from the Knoxville, Tennessee area. I live in a small town just south of town, Alcoa. It's about 15 miles south of Knoxville. I have a wonderful wife, Tara Jo. We have a 10-year-old son, and we enjoy sports. We enjoy golf whenever we get the opportunity to play that. A little bit of travel, and also one of my hobbies that I've picked up in the last couple of years is TDC. I love doing the truck driving championships.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said in the last couple of years. So how long have you been competing in TDCs?
I've competed 3 times
Yeah.
in 2019, 2023, and 2024. This past year.
You had any success at it yet?
Yes, sir. Actually, in 23 and 24 was very fortunate to win in the state of Tennessee in the 5-axle, go to the Nationals. And somehow last year it worked out, had my eyes in the right place, and won the best pre-trip at the Nationals last year.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah. That was in Columbus, right?
Yes, sir. That was in Columbus.
I believe I was there.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we met was when we were in Columbus, Tim.
Yep, absolutely. Man, I tell you what, they keep us road team guys busy over there, and so it's a blur sometimes. Talking to people and doing this, and you got to be here, you got to be there. So I do remember meeting you and all. So
yes, sir.
It's absolutely been a pleasure. Well, Tim, let's jump right on into it. Let's jump into your story about how you started out in this great industry that we have, and talk a little bit about that.
Well, I started out in this industry at 18 years old. I'm third generation driver. My grandfather was a driver. He was a trucker. My dad was a trucker. And just looking for something that may interest me. I like to travel. I like to drive. And so put my foot in the door Started loading and unloading trailers at 18, worked my way through an apprentice program, and started driving almost 21 years ago now.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you went through the apprentice program. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. I went through an apprentice program the company I work for has, and they trained me to drive, and so at that point, found that I really enjoyed driving a truck. I fell in love with trucking, and still have that enthusiasm today. I still love it. Still love all aspects of it.
So tell me a little bit about the aspects of the apprentice program that the company put you through. So what kind of stuff happened there? Because I'm always intrigued by people who come through truck driving schools, apprentice programs, and stuff like that.
Well, the apprentice program at the company that I'm with, they had a book based, going through just a knowledge based to get a permit to get your license. Um, I was fortunate enough; my dad drove already, so I already had a license when I applied. I already had a CDL, and but I did go through the education side of it, just learning about the knowledge of the industry, also just about what I would be doing, making sure of proper pre trips, post trips, and then once we finished up the book education, started the hands on. I was very fortunate that I was able to hustle. I was able to switch on the yard, moving trailers in and out for probably 3 years before I started driving. So had the backing down pretty decent, which always helps whenever you start driving. You're going to be backing quite a bit, especially whenever you start out or getting those trailers back in the holes. But then started on street training. Actually, they sent me to Atlanta, Georgia to train. So what better place than a lot of traffic in Atlanta? So had a great trainer in Atlanta. We had a lot of fun doing that, and then came back and did some local work, did some line haul work, and found out that line haul was where I wanted to be, and finally moved into that after the apprentice program. So been very fortunate in driving all these years, and never had an accident. So I've just been fortunate with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's actually a big accomplishment
Yes,
there.
sir.
So running line haul, and I run line haul also. I ran actually city for 8 years when I first started out with this company, but now I run line haul. I do a meet and turn over in Montgomery, Alabama at this present time. But a lot of times I'm on a meet and turn and goes right up into Atlanta. So when you talk about Atlanta, hey, familiar territory to me there. So
Yes, sir.
my hat's off to anybody that'll go up to Atlanta and try to drive around 285. And if you can do it, accident free, you've done something good every day, because you got to be on your toes running up through there all the time.
Yes, you do. Especially in Atlanta, you can always bank on a good backup. It doesn't matter whether it's day or night.
That's right. That's right, Tim.
Yeah.
So I understand that you are on the Tennessee road team. I want to touch on that just for a few minutes. And you know what? Before we go there, I want you to talk about your dad a little bit. Tell me about your dad and his trucking career, because originally I wanted to have you guys both on here. It just hasn't worked out, and maybe we can do that in the future. But just talk to me a little bit about your dad and your dad's career and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Dad started driving probably in his late teens. Great stories of just how that operated back then. He wasn't even old enough to carry a license, but I remember Dad telling me that he would cut out numbers in the newspaper and laminate them in his license to kind of lie about his age. He said he was 25 for quite a few years to drive, but just how it's changed from whenever he started the first truck he started driving. I don't even remember what he told me it was, but I just remember the story of he walked in, he cleaned his truck up, he had it just shining like a brand new truck. He said he was 10 miles down the road, and he said it looked like he'd been in a coal mine. Said there were holes in the floorboard. He said the headlights were being held in with wire, and so he said he's basically in the elements. But and of course, that was in the late 70s. And he ran over the road for probably about 15 years. And then he went into the LTL business as well into the industry at the LTL pulling doubles, and that's probably how I started it with that. But to hear some of those great stories of how he did it and his dad, I mean, we've got some video of him when he was just a little kid with an old B model Mac, him rolling landing gear up with his dad helping him on the truck. So it's fun to see the generations and how things have changed, and the luxuries that we have in trucks now and equipment compared to the days of past, and those that have come before us, and kind of set the precedence for us.
Absolutely. And so you're third generation truck driver. So
Yes, sir.
I guess it's pretty much, well to say that it's in your blood. So
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Still love it every day.
and who knows, maybe that 10-year-old that you got, maybe he'll get grow for the love of it, but
Yeah, we
yeah,
don't know what's held in the future. Yes.
that's right. Absolutely. See, I'm just a first generation truck driver. But my son, he went on to become a nurse, and now he's a nurse practitioner, and so my daughter's a teacher, and so none of them are truck drivers by career, but I'm okay with that, because the trucking industry has been so good to me that I've had the opportunity to help put both of them through college.
Yeah, absolutely. Compared to the days when my dad started at 7 cents a mile, I mean, it's hard to imagine to the great wages that we have now and the great benefits that we have in this industry. I mean, really, this industry pays really good to the drivers. It's a great career if somebody's looking to get into this industry right now. I mean, what better time to get into it? I mean, you think great wages, great benefits. I mean, companies are so much more flexible than what they used to be. The opportunities of not having to be on the road for 6 or 8 weeks at a time if you don't want to. I mean, of course, that opportunity is there to be on the road, or you can be home every day. It's really opened up to be flexible. The industry has to the drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny you say that. I was on my way home yesterday from work, and I was actually we have a Jeep, and I drove the Jeep to work that day, and I had the top down, and I'm just sitting at the red light, and some gentleman rolled his window. He said, "Hey, man, it's FedEx hiring." You probably hear that with your
Yes.
job, but also I said, "No, man, we're not hiring right now. It's kind of slow." I said, "But hey, man, if you go to FedEx.com/careers, we might have something there." But anyway, long story short, he told me, he said, "Man, I just got out of school. I got all my endorsements and everything like that." And, I said, "Dude," I said, "you won't have a problem getting a job. It might not be with FedEx, but you won't have a problem getting the job since you got your CDL and you got all your endorsements there."
That's right. I mean, his career is endless now. Whatever he wants to do with the endorsements, he's already gone through the training. Of course, a lot of companies now will turn it on further whenever you start in the industry. But hopefully, he has a wonderful, successful career in transportation. It's been great to me and my family. Provided very well. I mean, provided well for my parents, my grandfather as well. So it's been very good to us as a family.
Right, right. Now, you and I was talking beforehand, and you said you ran city for about 9 months, right? And
Yes, sir.
then you went on into line haul there. Like I told you, I ran city for about 8 years. Pushing and pulling and unloading freight off the back of the truck and all that. I couldn't do it this day and time. I know I couldn't hang with it this day and time. I would try, but I couldn't hang with it right now. But I'm going to tell you what, you know, I would encourage anybody that's looking for a career that wants to make good money, and you can testify this too, Tim. This is the career to be in. It's not like it used to be, where everybody thinks that you're going to be gone for weeks and months at a time. You could pretty much make this career what you want it to be. You can run OTR over the road if you want, or you can run south, regional, or you can run local, and you can pretty much, be home every night like we are, if you want to. So it's a great industry, and the industry, I think, has changed in that respect for the better over the years.
Oh, absolutely, Tim. You you can't ask for better than what companies do for the drivers now. I mean, there's driver appreciations. They actually appreciate the driver now. The driver has a lot of comforts. They listen to the driver and some of the equipment they order now. I mean, my goodness, and the equipment that we have now, there's so much technology in it. Whether it's the effectiveness of the engines, how much more efficient they are, how much more
Right.
reliable the trucks are. Of course, conversation whether you like a manual transmission or automatic is always going to be out there for some. But I mean, that comfort of automatic when you're in traffic sometimes works out pretty good. I still kind of miss changing the gears though.
Yeah.
It may be just a preference, but maybe if I went back to a manual transmission, maybe I'd wish I had the automatic. I don't know.
You wish
But
it.
I mean, go
You
ahead,
would.
Tim.
If you drive in Atlanta traffic very much, you will appreciate the automatic.
Oh, I guarantee it. Yes, sir. Well, I go through Nashville a couple times a day in Knoxville. So sometimes today, like this evening, it was nice not holding the clutch in
Right.
the traffic
Oh yeah.
coming into town.
Well, I'm expecting Steve to call in here in a few minutes. I'm sure Steve's got a few questions for you also. But while
Okay.
if he calls in, I'll just break right in and I'll put him on the line here. Okay. But
Okay.
let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Tennessee Road Team. Tell me first of all how you got selected to become a Tennessee Road Team captain.
Well, I was nominated by my company. I was talked to by one of our advisors, and he said, "Hey, I think you would be good at this. Do you want to try this?" I said, "I don't even know what it really is." So he explained it to me. I said, "Well, you know what? Let me talk to my wife about this," and we decided, "Hey, let's give it a shot." So I gave it a shot and went down, and we did a selection. Um and just fortunate to come out to be a Tennessee Road Team captain. At the end of the day, I mean, it's been a great experience to get to be around a lot of like-minded people in the industry. Whenever you're on a road team, whether it's a state or a national road team, there's a lot of people that love this industry, that want the best for it, and we do a lot of safety base education with whether it's schools or community centers or even we even do national night outs a lot with the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, and I know you have to go through a selection process. Take me through that real quick. Like, I'm asking questions that I actually know the answers to, but our
Yes.
listening audience might not know what it takes to become a road team captain. There, what all's involved. So take us through those steps there.
Yeah, well, actually, we went down. Went to the actual association. We prepared a speech. We got up in front of all of our peers, and we did about a 3-minute speech. And we went through an interview process with each of the selecting committee, and actually just to see if we were able to have conversation with people, to be able to stand in front of people and to communicate effectively. Also, in that process, knowing now what all they do, they were, observing each captain, potential captain, to see if what their demeanor was, how they handled themselves, and the situations, to see if they had a level of professionalism about them.
Gotcha. So as a Tennessee Road Team captain, I mean, I tell you what, hands down, Tennessee Road Team is one busy road team. I know. And can you tell us to date how many events that you guys have done so far?
I do not know an exact count. The last I have talked to, we were going to do around 200 events throughout the state this year. And so, yes, you're right. We're one of the most active road teams as far as state road teams, and that comes because somebody years ago decided that they wanted to expand the road team, wanted to expand the safety throughout the state of Tennessee, and so they put the time and effort to start that. And of course, when COVID came, we had a slowdown on the road team, but now that's picked back up, and a lot of great companies, a lot of great sponsors, whether it's the Tennessee Highway Safety Office or other transportation companies in the state who sponsor us. we get that ability to go out and educate and to the community about operating around large trucks and safely.
Yeah, yeah. And tell us a little bit about the variations of events. Tell us, from one aspect to one event to the next. Tell us a little bit about the differences between the events that y'all do.
Well, absolutely. I like to say that we have a range from a toddler all the way to a 100-year-old if you can come out to one of our events. Starting with, we can go into preschools and bring in a touch a truck. We can just let them sit around the truck, sit inside of it. Of course, the most important thing when you do that, you got to let them blow the horn, Tim. That's one of the greatest things to do with a kid whenever he's in the truck. But we also go into middle schools and high schools, do some recruiting for the transportation side. One of our most successful, probably I wouldn't say most successful, but one of the events that I think everybody has the most fun with, but turns into one of the most serious is we have some drunk goggles, as I call them, impaired vision goggles. And we pair those with some pedal carts, and we set up a course, have them drive through it, and show them what can happen if you drive impaired, showing them what 2 inches looks like. You may cross that line in 2 inches, and it affects so many people's lives. So we like to try to drive that home, even distracted driving. I have a friend, he's a mutual friend of ours, that we talk about some different things, road team events. And he was telling me about his distracted driving, about how he has students close their eyes for 6 seconds. He moves around the room, and in 6 seconds, a lot can happen. Well, I've taken that as well and just used his and talked to students about, would you close your eyes for 6 seconds going down the highway at highway speeds? And of course they would, you get the reaction, well, of course I would. And well, when you send that text message, you're absolutely doing that. You're taking your eyes off the road, being a distraction. So we do a lot of that in the high schools. We get into what we call the aging group in the state of Tennessee. That is the group more 65 and older. We do some events where we'll come in and have you bring your car in, and maybe we make some recommendations to you. We call it car fit. That set up your car. Maybe you're sitting too close to the steering wheel. We can make a recommendation that you move away from the steering wheel a little bit. We can help them adjust their mirrors to alleviate some of those blind spots, hard to see. And that is an excellent program, especially for the aging population, that they can feel safe operating on the highway. Of course, we do we call it the no zone in Tennessee. A lot of people call it the share of the road throughout the country, but we take and show the blind spots in a truck. I think I've seen more eye-opening to drivers that are not school age drivers, but maybe 20s, 30s, 40-year-old drivers. When they climb up in the truck and they see that those spots are there, it's kind of eye-opening. They say, I've been driving for years and I never realized that these were here. So we like to educate people. We don't want to scare anybody. We just want to educate you. And as I say, education is, knowledge is very powerful, because you can take that and use it.
Right. And I agree with that. And, of course, I do a lot of, well, we got the call coming here. Let me take this call here. It's probably Steve calling in. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line here?
Mr. Taylor, how you doing, sir?
Steve Brand, welcome to Truckers Voices on the other end of the phone.
Yes, sir. Been listening to you on the show, going through Lexington, Kentucky, headed south, and just wanted to call in and tell everybody hello.
Well, say hello to Tim Blair, our guest tonight. You've been listening to the show, so you've heard some of it. You got some questions for Mr. Blair tonight?
Tim, since you're talking about the Tennessee road team, how long are you an active captain, and when did you get on the team?
Well, Steve, good to talk to you once again. Always good to talk to you. But I started back in 2023. Last year was my first year on the road team. It's a 2-year stint on the road team, but also that continues as once a road team captain, always a road team captain. So in the state of Tennessee, of course, we have so many events. They utilize the road team captains for as long as the company will sponsor them.
All right. All right. Yeah, I didn't know. I listened to the show till I called in. I didn't know if you talked about that or not. But well, congratulations, man! Welcome to the safety world. I mean, this is awesome. I absolutely love doing safety events. I just did one up in Baltimore last Saturday, and we had a real good turnout and had a good time. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you can get out and talk about the safety aspect of the industry and show the motoring public or just the community that you may be in that trucks really aren't scary. They're just large, and you can operate safely around this. We just have a space, and we just ask you to respect that space and to know, hey, there are possible blind spots. We're not telling you that it's unsafe to pass us, but just don't hang out in those areas. Don't just park there and sit there for long periods of time. And everybody will arrive home safely, and that's what we want at the end of the day. As professional drivers, we want you to get home safely, but we also want to get back home to our families. We have families as well.
Exactly. So, did you ever drive coast to coast or anything, or have you always been with the company you're with?
I've always been with the company that I'm with. Probably about as far out as I have been in a truck is probably mid-state Missouri. I do a route every day. I meet Columbia, Missouri each day. We do a meet and turn, and we meet in Paducah, Kentucky. So my route takes me to Western Kentucky about every day.
Oh, okay. Tim, you got anything?
So Steve,
Taylor?
He talked about meeting in Missouri. So you can kind of relate that with your Missouri background there, right?
Yes, sir. I know. He's meeting Columbia, Missouri. That's pretty much the middle of the state, and then he's over at Paducah. I know right where Paducah is. Been there many a time. But yeah. One other question for you, Tim Blair.
Yes, sir.
What made you decide to become a road team captain?
Well, when I found out exactly what road team captains did, it kind of fit along with what I had, the same mindset. It's a safety mindset. I mean, what better thing can you go out and teach about safety? I mean, that's exactly what my mindset has been. Also is what better way than to get out and to promote transportation? I mean, trucking. I mean, as Tim and I have already talked about, what a great career. I mean, you can great wages now, great benefits. If you like to travel, the scenery is never the same every day. So you're always getting a new view, and you're out in the open. You're out with the public. I love talking to people. That's what my wife says. Never met a stranger, so I always love to get to talk to people. I love to get to know who people are. And whenever you go out into these events, you're getting to know the people in the community and getting to share your story as well. We get to share our story. How many years that we've been driving, safe miles, who we work for, and it's a great opportunity.
So Tim, I want to jump in here, and I do want to back up. We talked about who you are, where you're from. We talked about your career and how you got into the trucking industry and all that. I want to go back beyond that. Tell us what you did before you got into the trucking industry. Because tell me again, how long you've been in the trucking industry?
I've been in the industry 25 years.
Okay.
So I started at the age of 18 in this industry. But before that, Tim, I actually had a couple jobs. Started out my first job was probably about 12 or 13 years old, planting and cutting tobacco and working in a hayfield for a local farmer. So did a little bit of that. Worked at a car wash at the age of 16. I worked at a quick lube as well till I was about 17. Went into the construction business. Soon after that, realized that that business, a great business, a great trade, but have a lot of downtime in that. And so I was like, I really like to travel. I really like to drive. Let's see what's available with trucking.
Right. So with the company that you're with, you told me that you had an apprentice program. So did you have to
Yes, sir.
become a dock handler first before you did, or they just put you straight into the apprentice program?
I was a dock handler first, loaded and unloaded trailers. It seems you get all aspects whenever you load to start with. So I worked my way from the entry level into the driving role. And of course, the company that I'm with, when you start out on the city, you're going to be loading and unloading trailers, of course. But then whenever you go to the line haul side, uh, a lot of loading and unloading. I had that experience already going into it, Tim.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. So you've been with this company about 20, 25 years now, right?
Yes, sir.
So I know who you work for, and I know that that apprentice program was probably just starting out when you got into it. So was you one of the first ones in the apprentice program?
That apprentice program was probably a couple years old when I started, the best that I remember, Tim. It was very, very new.
I got you. I got you. All right, Steve, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, just listening.
All right, yeah. You got anything? Go ahead.
Tim, if you couldn't drive a truck anymore, what would you do outside of the trucking profession?
To be honest, I don't. That would be a tough question. I enjoy woodworking. I enjoy remodeling on homes, but if I couldn't drive anymore, I would want to be in the trucking industry. Whether it was in the safety aspect of it, whether it was in some part of warehousing or something, I just love the trucking part of it. So I would probably be in some sort of a safety position at a company somewhere. I like the aspects of transportation.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you totally. You and I sound a lot alike there. If I couldn't drive behind the wheel, I want to help people behind the wheel, and
Absolutely.
that's the same way with being a captain. You know, I get on these events and these teachers and adults ask me, why did you become a captain? And I said, well, I'm a truck driver. I love trucks. I love trucking. I love to talk, and I love to promote safety. So what a better person to be in there, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we had a conversation a few weeks ago, Steve. Steve and I were talking, and I think we talked about that our love for talking to people and love for talking to industry, uh, and how we love to promote it. We're very well like-minded.
Well, I'm going to stop right here.
Exactly.
Steve, you stay on the line, Steve, but if somebody calls in, we'll clear the line and let them come in. But I'm going to let everybody know, if you want to call in and talk to Tim or got any questions for him, or just tell him, hey, the number's 251-616-2151. That's 251-616-2151. We'd love to hear from you. If you got any comments, just go ahead and call. I'm going to open the phone line up to them now. So got one coming in now. So, Steve, we're going to kick you off.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line here? I'm good, Sam. Let me see if I can get the volume up on this thing a little bit. You sound a little quiet on me. No, Sam, I'm not hearing you, brother. Sam, hang up and call back. Let's see if we can get you connected, okay? Yeah, I had to go ahead and end that call because it was really quiet, and I know you couldn't hear him. I could hear him barely
No, sir.
in my headphones there. So maybe Sam will call back. Here it comes. Let's see what we can do. All right, let me open up this phone line here. All right, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line here? Well, I'm getting nothing here. Steve just took everything out of it. Let me call this number back, Tim, and let's see if we can get him in
Yes,
there. Okay?
sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I apologize to the listening audience tonight. Man, it was going good, and Steve just messed the phone line up. I'm gonna blame Steve on it.
He took it with him today, didn't he?
He sure did. So, see what we get here. See, I can hear it ringing now, so we'll see what we get.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Sam, I don't know what was going on there when you called in. I could barely hear you there, but I think Tim can hear you now too.
Yeah.
But Sam, go ahead. What you got for us tonight, brother? It's good to hear you in there. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, just been a little busy, man, but you know how the industry is.
Yep, that's a good problem to have for sure, sir.
Absolutely. Have I got the floor here?
You got the floor, brother. It's all you.
Hey, Mr. Tim, are you listening?
Yes, sir, Sam.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you, that apprentice program that you're over there, what's that all about? What do they do?
Well, as I was telling Tim earlier, we of course, it's changed now. I don't know all the aspects of it now. I know there's some education based. They do quite a few weeks of watching videos, learning about the truck and the equipment that they're going to be in now, learning about the CDL. Of course, getting prepared to take your CDL permit test. Then once that steps into, they go into usually getting into a hostler, making sure you can learn to back, moving equipment around, getting familiar with the equipment, which I think is probably one of the best tools there, is to make sure you get in that hostler and learning to back, because you've got to learn to do that before you get into a truck and get on the highway. You go forward so far, but at some point you have to back that truck up, whether it's to pick up a load or whether it's to get into a parking spot at a truck stop. We've all been in truck stops and pretty tight quarters, or even in some of these warehouses, you're going to get into some pretty tight situations. So I found that to be one of the most beneficial things that I learned to do early on, was learning to back a trailer. If I can just kind of go on a little side note here, Tim, I remember the first time I went to back a trailer, I turned around just like I was going to back a boat in the lake, and there's a trailer back there. I was like, well, this isn't going to work very good. I had to learn to use my mirrors really quick, but then they take you out and put you with a trainer now, and that's kind of what they did with me. They sent me to Atlanta, but now they send you to different regions at the company that I'm with to train. And if that trainer sees that maybe you need a little more time, maybe they send you back to your domicile, let you practice a little more, and then come back again. They want to make sure that you're fit to go out into to real world situations, because let's face it, whenever you get out in the real world, there's a lot of learning that you can do. Whenever you get in a situation and somebody can't tell you what to do, you have to learn it on your own. And hopefully all that training that they're giving you gives you that full opportunity to do it.
Yep. And I will say also, aren't you with that trainer for up until the time that you go and actually do your road test? So how long is that, Tim?
Tim, at one point in time, it was at least 4 weeks with that trainer until you could take your test, but that may not be accurate. I don't know an accurate timeline on that at this point, Tim. I would hate to speak out. I remember at one point in time it was 4 weeks, but I think that's changed, and that can go on to even more if they feel like you need that.
All right. The floor is yours, Sam. You still there?
Yes, sir. I understand now. You were just using different terminology than what I'm familiar with, but I underwent pretty much the exact same scenario, except a couple of minor details. Was the company that I started with when I first got my CDL was they're out of Nashville, and they would bring you to their personal yard for 2 weeks, and then they would send you back home to get your CDL in your home county and city, and then bring you back to go in a trainer truck for 3 weeks. And at the end of that 3 weeks, either, they'd send you back to the yard for maybe additional training, or they would go ahead and turn you loose, give you your own truck. Some people make it, some people don't. Like you said, you got to be ready for those real world situations, and not everybody has it.
Nope,
That's exactly right.
You're right. And I will tell you, Tim, Sam is an OTR driver, and he's a frequent caller into the show here, and he knows about backing into some of those tight spots around the warehouses and all.
I guarantee it. Over the road, you never know what you're going to expect. You're always in a different location, and always probably in a different warehouse.
Yep. And Sam, where are you at tonight, if you don't mind me asking that?
New York City, as a matter of fact.
Yep, I figured you
was. Oh my goodness, that's a tight spot.
Yeah, I might know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, Sam, if you don't have anything else, man, we do appreciate you joining us and then calling in and listening in and being a friend to the show. We sure do appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, guys. You have a good night, Mr. Tim. Best of luck to you, sir, and maybe we'll talk another night.
Yeah, absolutely. Good talking to you, Sam.
All right, truck safe, brother.
Thanks, guys. You too. Bye.
Bye.
That made me nervous just talking about New York City, being in there talking about tight spots, Tim.
Right. Well, I knew he ran up there some, so I was just curious where he was at. He found us. He was a Facebook listener, and he started calling into the show. And actually, we had him on the show one night and interviewed him and all. Great young man, and he's a true truck driver there for sure. So
sounds like a good voice for the industry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And anyway, well, hey, we are at 8:46, and I know you probably need to get to the house, so we're gonna go ahead and start winding the show down. What me and Steve call the post trip part of the show there, right? So we're gonna.
Oh man, we got to get a good post trip in, yes, sir.
We got to do a good walk around and make sure everything's post trip really good. So we got to put our eyes on something. I got a friend of mine. His name he works with me. His name's Tony Wainwright, and he's one of the best post tripper and pre trippers I know, because he can find some stuff. I'm like, how did you find that? Speaking of post trips and all that. But no, we appreciate you coming on, Tim, and we like everything that you've done. We thank you for being a voice for the trucking industry, especially on the Tennessee road team. And do you have any aspirations of joining a company road team, or even on up the line there, America's road team, at any time in your future?
Well, you come to speak of that, I have put an application in for the company road team. So hope to hear back on that pretty soon. The national road team one day, hopefully so. I've got a 10-year-old son, so still that's a little more travel. So I want to take advantage of the time I have with my son. But hopefully at one day I will be able to make the national road team. That would be a dream. That would be something that I guess one of those long-term goals. Because when I look at the people who are on that national road team, I look at myself and I'm thinking, boy, I still have a long ways to go, and to get to that point. Those people are they're very well spoken, well trained, and so getting to know those gentlemen and ladies, it's been a pleasure to meet many of them. I have several friends on that road team.
I wish I could meet some of them.
Yeah.
But no, it's absolutely an honor to be a part of the road team. I know that for sure. And you do get to meet a lot of people, and you do get to be a spokesperson for the industry that you love. And we all have aspects of the jobs that we don't like. But I can't think of a better job to be in. I really can't, because you get to go out and you got the best office view in the world every day. It's ever changing. There's different challenges every day that we got to overcome, But at the end of the day, when we make it home safe, you can call that a successful day for sure.
That's right. That's the goal. When you leave your driveway in the morning, the goal is to return back, and hopefully everyone is operating around you that day returns as well. I mean, you want to see every driver to make it home safe, but all those, as we call them, four-wheelers, it's in the trucks, hope they return safely too and behave while we're on the highways.
That's right. That's right. Well, since Steve ain't with us right now, he's traveling. I want to wish him and Beth well. They are traveling over to Tennessee to see their daughter. She just had some surgery, so they're gonna go take care of her. And we end this show usually with a word of safety and encouragement. And I'm gonna ask you this question. I'll let you lead into the safety and encouragement with this question. I'm gonna ask you if you had anything that you wanted to tell a young driver that's thinking about getting into the industry, what would you tell that driver?
Well, first off, if you're going to get into this industry, strive to be the very best that you can be. And that starts with making sure that you're safe. It's your driver's license, it's your record. Nobody else controls that but you. And it starts, my biggest push is a pre-trip inspection and a post-trip inspection. If you go around and make sure that your equipment is in top-notch shape, first of all, you're making sure that you're operating safely on the highway, and everybody else is going to be safe as well with your equipment. But second of all, you're eliminating so many possibilities of breakdowns, so many other opportunities, or not opportunities, but safety-related incidents happening. Second of all is, you have to do a pre-trip on yourself. You got to take care of yourself. This industry can be very hard as far as finding the proper nutrition while you're on the road. And whether that's preparing it at home or bringing your own food with you, you have to take care of yourself, because if the driver's not in good shape, you're not going to operate very long. You're not going to operate safely very long. Third of all, find what you like. It may be OTR. It may be regional, maybe local. Find what you do and be proud of it, own it, and love it. And that if you do those, I think you'll come to work every day with a smile on your face and never be disappointed in the transportation side of it.
Right, right. And what would you tell that person that's not a truck driver, but just a regular, everyday Joe or Jill driver? What would you tell them about driving around commercial vehicles?
Respect the space that's around the truck. We do have some spots that you shouldn't just hang out in. And, the right side, the rear, the front, left side, all have those spots. We love to be around you on the highway, but we don't want you to hang out right beside us. We like, as we say, we want to be a neighbor, but we don't want you to move in permanently around us. So just move on past us and make sure as you're driving, take those distractions away. Make sure you're not distracted while you're on the highway. Those things can wait till you get home, till you get parked. That way we all arrive safely at our destination.
Absolutely, Tim. Well, thank you, man. I know this hour's kind of went by fast, and we do appreciate you coming on the show. And I know we've been trying to line this up for several weeks now, and I'm glad it finally happened. I didn't even know it was going to happen tonight, but finally got my internet back up and running down here, so we were good to go. And I told Steve I wanted to go ahead and get a show done, because I know next week being Halloween, we won't have a show next week.
Yes.
But anyway, well, thank you again for coming on and sharing, and I wish you well. Don't be a stranger to the show. Just come on back on sometime in the future and share with us, and keep doing what you're doing, man. Getting out there and educating those up and coming motors on how to share the road safely with our commercial vehicles is one of the best things that you can continue to do. So I appreciate you for doing that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to have me on. Thank you for thinking of me, Tim. Always a pleasure getting to talk with you and Steve as well. And absolutely, we have to keep doing what we're doing each and every day. What better job than getting to deliver America each day?
That's absolutely right. Well, Tim, thank you again. I'm going to kind of put you in the background, and I'm going to close the show out, and just hang on. When we go off the air, I'll come back and talk to you here for just a minute. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tim.
All right, everybody. Tim Blair. All right. Well, another night of Truckers' Voices in the books, and we especially appreciate our listening audience coming in and listening to us tonight. I see you guys out there. I see you guys popping in. You know what? I want to give a couple of shout outs here. Let's see here. Let me give a shout out to Scott and Nancy Post. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Also, Michael Middleton. I appreciate you coming in there. Michael's a Tennessee boy also. And Jackie Reed, national grand champion. Jackie Reed has called in there. So I appreciate Jackie watching. He didn't call in, but he's watching tonight. Tony Wainwright popped in there. Sam Johnson, which he called in. Chuck and Colleen Demchok. Bob Hare was watching tonight. Roland Bodott and Sam Anderson the second. And let's see who else. Steve was watching, of course. Phil Hopper and Rich Frazier and Miguel Vasquez was watching. And there are so many others that I probably didn't name because I think some of them was watching on YouTube platform also, and then some other pages on Facebook that I'm not seeing. But, man, I do want to thank everybody for coming in and watching Truckers' Voices tonight with us there. Well, I've got a call. Let's see who this is. I might have to bring Tim back on, but let's see who this is. Hey, welcome to Truckers' Voices. Who do we have on the line here?
Hey, buddy, it's Steve again. I just wanted to jump on there real fast and tell Tim Blair we appreciate him coming on, appreciate all his knowledge, keep doing what he's doing. And like you said, Tim, you're in the post-trip of the show. I just want to throw out there, I will see you Saturday. And I want to tell everybody, remember, the most important trip is the trip home. Be safe.
All right, Steve, I appreciate you. And I will see you Saturday, brother. I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate you traveling down and being a part of what I've got going on down there, okay?
No problem, brother. You know I had to jump in there and get that world-famous state of mine out there. So I want everybody to travel safe. I got a couple hours left to go, and we're just going to be trucking south.
All right. Well, Tim's listening to you. He can say something to you real quick, like if he wants to.
Well, Steve, it's good to hear from you again. You're going to be in my neck of the woods this week, so maybe we can wave at each other. But be safe on your trip down.
All right, buddy. Take care. Appreciate it again being on the show, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Steve.
See you soon, Steve.
All right. We'll see you Saturday, Tim.
See you, brother.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I was trying to I officially get into my monologue there at the end of the show, but I'm just going to leave you right there, and I'll end the show right here like that. But everybody, y'all tune in next time we come on Trucker Voices. Be looking out on Facebook for some of the posts that we got coming out, and we'll have another fine guest come on in a couple of weeks. But we want to thank you again for tuning in. And hey, like I always say, people's going to be traveling tomorrow, trying to get to where they're going this weekend. And one thing that they're not doing is they're not looking out for themselves. So you got to look out for those. That's right. Who is not looking out for themselves. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you later on Truckers' Voices.